Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of DmC Devil May Cry, the Ninja Theory, 2013 Ninja Theory reboot of Capcom's beloved Devil May Cry series.
But that's just a theory, a ninja theory.
Oh god.
Oh,
Oh boy. You know, honestly, I've been playing. So I actually, I have now recorded all of this playthrough, and also have done a full playthrough of like the difficulty that comes after this one, and still think this game is like real good, really, really good. It's got some.
I think it's okay.
It's not as good at high levels as maybe DmC is, but it's pretty great.
I think it's good, but there's a lot of things that I find other games do just better than this game.
Yeah.
Why do they just randomly say sexual performance? Like what?
Oh, because it's talking about they're infiltrating the soda factory, the soda that is literally mind controlling people.
Yeah.
And that was an advertisement saying like, "Hey, our soda's also going to make you like better at sex."
I know, but it's the most random thing. It's like they're selling soda, not Viagra.
No, but it's like it's talking about like what sodas try to sell themselves as, right? Again,
True.
This is like very heavy-handed,
Especially this
social commentary. But
this moment is explaining Dante's backstory is kind of heavy-handed because when I play this game, it's like, wow, this is like the most emo shit I've ever seen.
No, I actually really like this. So I like the way they set up. They set up like Dante and Kat and Virgil as like people with a lot of like childhood trauma. Like Kat, I don't know if that's in this episode or.
But you can't deny this is pretty emo.
Yeah, okay, that's pretty emo. I can't get over that one for sure. But I do like it, and I like this is actually a thing that is kind of mostly in this game and not really in the other Devil May Cry games, is that like this is the only game where Dante actually has like problems with his father, and like his legacy. Like even though he knows that Sparta is his dad, he still has like a latent hatred for him because he's a demon and he just like hates all demons. I kind of like that. Like there's an exploration of some actual like real backstory and relationship stuff in this game, which is one of the many things that I like.
I actually really do like how this level ended up sort of becoming visualized when you get into Limbo. The only problem is that it doesn't work well from a level design perspective, and I think we'll just figure that out later on.
Maybe. This, you know what? I do think there was a later level where the platforming definitely got in my way. Oh, here's me trying to be like, oh, look over there. Because this, obviously,
Dante's a rebel.
The secret to video games is never go in the direction the game is going to tell you because there's probably a secret in the other direction.
Yeah, never ever go because you're gonna find some sort of like hidden item the other direction. Always.
That's basically
that being
what
said, at this point in the game, you actually can't do any combat. You're just around. So
I actually
I realized that quickly after turning around.
I thought that when I was first playing this level, and I just rebelled and sort of went my own way anyway. Eventually found my way like over here, but I was like, wait, I can't attack.
I think the area loops around, so that you're kind of always gonna go back to Cat's Path at a certain point.
Pretty much.
Wait, so what's the point of the branching pathways?
I don't know. Atmosphere, I also think, and I can't confirm this, but I think you might eventually go back and run those hallways again, but in Limbo, maybe. I could be making that up. Mainly, the real reason for it is to make it seem like an environment when they give you a segment where you're just running through the game because they had to cut some budget on.
Though you would think that somewhere like this would have actual security.
Yeah, that's okay.
They're probably not. I mean, the company probably isn't like they seem to have a monopoly like over this city. Like I don't think they're really afraid of.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Well, think of it like it's basically evil Coca-Cola.
Yeah. So it's basically Coca-Cola.
Well, sorry. Yeah. Evil-er Coca-Cola.
More explicitly evil.
So what was that mascot that we saw earlier? Like that thing with the face, like in the main lobby of the of the soda company, because it reminds me a lot of the Persona 4
Virility mascot.
Okay. Because it looks suspiciously like the Persona 4 sort of bear character.
Oh, Teddy?
Oh,
yeah, Teddy. Yeah, that's right.
On the other side.
I really like how this level transforms.
Now we're in limbo. Here we go.
Dante, will you take the red pill or the blue pill?
I mean, he has definitely taken the red pill.
The
red
green
pill's the
pill.
one that brings you into the Matrix, right? Or that takes you out of the Matrix.
Sure.
Well, it looks like you took the green pill because everything is tinted green.
Yeah.
You're right. It's a lot bigger here in Limbo.
Wait, are the demons spelling out obesity?
Yeah.
Are they telling Dante
yeah,
not to
the
drink?
idea is like, you know, because he's in like the demon world, he can see the ads for what they really are, right? Like,
oh,
you know,
okay.
see through the ads.
To be honest, that's one of the things I actually really like about this game, though.
Yeah, no, it's great. You know, as I said, it's like as I often say, it's very heavy-handed, but a lot of fun. And like it's nice to get at least something. Like it's nice for there to be a big budget, or you know, I guess medium budget character action game that is like actually trying to be about something or about a few things rather than just be like, yeah, you're gonna shoot some dudes. I mean,
Yeah.
you're definitely gonna do that in this game too. But I like that they actually focused on having
Same.
You know,
I really like how each like level has like a very unique like aesthetic and design, and even like their own enemies. Like these enemies look like ones that we have not seen yet. Like I'm sure they
have.
You have.
Well, I mean, anytime there's a new enemy, it will come up with a thing that says like, "This is the enemy," kind of, you know. So it's always pretty obvious. But yes, it does introduce new enemies at a pretty steady clip. Oh yeah, that's.
Dan,
Yeah.
Dan.
Yeah,
That's a deep
yeah.
thing.
To be honest, like it does. Like this game does that thing where you have to like swing and then pull something and then swing again, and it does that pretty badly because every time that happens, I end up dying.
I tend to be okay with it. There are definitely a couple spots where it gets a little rough.
Yeah, like I think these guys are new.
Yeah, so now we have the angel and demon weapons here. So this is our first enemy, I believe, that is you can actually only damage this enemy using your demon weapons, and he also has this floor thing, so he can burn the floor, but if you hold down the right trigger, which is the demon weapon, but that floor doesn't affect you. It's pretty easy to deal with when it's just him, but they start doing things later on where they're combining both types of enemies, so you really have to worry about like just like keeping them apart, or trying to do this like weird spatial reasoning where like this enemy can only be hurt by this, but this enemy can only be hurt by this, and it's pretty cool. It's quite a balancing act, and one that they get very deeply into in the later difficulties of this game, and also in.
I do like the battle animations though.
Yeah, oh my god, it's so good. They're so good. I was actually recently watching Giant Bomb, my favorite video game site, just started doing this really interesting feature called Game Tapes, where they're going back and looking at like old E3s or like old promotional footage from games that they got from like GameSpot archives and all of this interesting stuff, and sort of commentating over it. And there's some footage of like Heavenly Sword, which is Ninja Theory's game. I guess 2 games before this.
Right.
Wait, Ninja Theory made that?
What?
Yeah,
Ninja Theory made that game?
that was Ninja Theory.
Yeah, that was Ninja Theory's first game.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Or at least their first big one. But yeah, and like even that game, which is like a PS3 launch game, still has like just really, really good looking animations. Those guys really know what they're doing.
Yeah, after I played Enslaved Odyssey to the West, I was looking into picking up Heavenly Sword. It didn't seem like it was quite there though yet, like at the level of Enslaved. So I eventually passed up on it, but it still looked like a pretty good game.
A
for the time.
relatively, I mean, just not really talked about game. Like it's kind of came and went. I think Enslaved is really where they sort of staked their claim about like the kinds of things that they're good at doing.
But that
and also
didn't
kind
sell.
of not, because the combat in Enslaved is like pretty bad. Like I remember when they first announced that this game was Ninja Theory, I was totally fine with Capcom not doing it, but I was like a little bit worried because it was Ninja Theory and like they hadn't really put together a good, like an actually good combat system yet. But I do think they did a really great job with this game.
No key for you.
Yeah, man.
Wait, hold on. So Dante can like take out an entire army of demons, but
can't
gates.
chop through gates.
But gate.
But chain fences are his only weakness.
Yeah, it's rough, man. Yeah. So what's actually interesting about this game is that on later playthroughs of the game, it saves your progress from the secrets. So like when I did my second playthrough, I was much more concerned with like trying to find all of the secrets and that sort of thing. And like the secrets that I already gotten on this playthrough were already marked down as like I had gotten them and I didn't have to worry about them anymore. Which is interesting, but does also like skew the scoring pretty badly in that it's a little bit too easy. It's pretty easy to like die a lot and still get like a really good rating in this game, which is one of the things that they modified in the PS4 and Xbox One re-release of this game. But
hey, you died like 27 times. You get an A for effort.
Yeah, exactly. You really don't lose a lot of points for dying. I think you lose 10,000 points, but like you're already in the millions.
Jesus.
By that point, so it's like really not a big deal. Don't have the key to get in there. Womp womp.
Darn gate. Dan,
Yeah.
Are the scores like completely arbitrary, or do they actually like mean something in the overall? Like, do they give you more points or money?
Yeah,
or
so
experience?
that right now. Oh, yeah, okay. So we just missed it, but on the bottom right corner of the screen, there's that white circle, and that white circle fills up with skill points. And that white circle is like when it does one full progression around the circle, that's when you get an upgrade. So it's the better you can do, the better in this game, because you will be able to upgrade more quickly.
Oh,
To
okay.
get those things. So that's
Yeah.
pretty useful. That's a pretty common like character action thing. Like all the old DMC games do that. Bayonetta definitely does that.
Yeah, I think this is. Sorry, go on.
No. You go for it.
Yeah, I think this was part of the level that pissed me off because I think I said this in a previous part. This game is just not good for platforming, and if you ever get like lost or try to like look around, you get really screwed by that.
Yeah, the key is to really you really have to go where the game wants you to. When it comes to platforming stuff. Okay, yeah. So here's the thing talking about Dante's like imperviousness to the demon stuff if you are holding the corresponding button. Yeah, definitely when it comes down to that platforming, you sort of have to stay on the critical path.
Yeah, so here we have an angel enemy and a demon enemy, and they can only be hurt by their respective kind of weapons. But we did notice that because they can still also hit each other, you can just basically have like the angel one just freeze everybody in front of you and then just take care of them that way.
Yeah, that's a good point. You can set up some interesting traps. I find that I usually hit those like sort of accidentally, but when they work out, it's like, oh wow, great.
When I was playing it, I actually did that on purpose because I'm just like, if I saw the angel one that freezes stuff, I'm just gonna let her do my work for me and then just keep her for last.
Yeah, it's every Titan fight in Arkham Asylum where if there's a Titan, you use them to get rid of all the mooks.
Yeah.
And then you take out the Titan.
So one thing that's kind of cool about the game is like when you don't have either the red or the blue enemies, it's like super relieving because you can just like wail on people. It feels great.
It looks pretty cathartic.
It's pretty awesome. And like, look, you just stay in the air like forever. It's really awesome.
Oh man, you're showing these guys no mercy. Yeah, so about the platforming, I sort of like that past segment where it looked like there was it didn't look like there was one set path like what we're usually used to seeing in the past levels. Like here it looked like there were
sorry, Will, I think I lost you for.
Oh, hey, are we back? I think we're back.
Hi.
I
think we're back.
Yeah, so
All right.
I think the demons didn't want us to talk.
Yeah, that's right. Interference.
Yeah.
Limbo this whole time.
Dante's kicking our ass. What do we do? Stop these guys' Skype conversation. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Effective tech.
Sorry, you were saying, Will?
Oh yeah, about the platforming. Like I like the last segment of platforming because it looked like there wasn't one set path as what we've seen so far. Like it was still pretty linear, but like you know, it's like, do you go on the left block first or the right block first? Okay, now I need to pull out this platform. So yeah, I like the progression.
That's about as far as it goes.
Oh,
When
okay.
you play it though, that actually becomes a problem. Because then you have to find your way back to like the regular way you're supposed to go, and I'm just like, and you have no clue where that is.
Oh, that's it. See, I haven't had that problem in this game. A lot of the time, what actually ends up happening is that the two paths ends up converging at the same point. Oh, this is great. Oh my god, I love that. Demons just really hate this guy, you know?
What are those? What were those portals?
No, so we've seen those before. They popped up a little bit. Those are sort of dumb. They're these really dumb enemies that just sort of pop up. They're like these weird shard circle things, and you just have to shoot them a bunch to kill them, or else they charge at you. I mean, I've played through this game twice. I still think those enemies are like a weird thing that don't have much point. It almost feels like they're there just to remind you that you can use your guns. Because this game, since it has all of the like pulling and pushing sort of stuff, like you don't actually need to use your guns that much in this game, though it does come in handy at times.
Well, yeah, the guns are kind of useless. Like even where I am playing this game, like the only thing I really use for the guns is like that charge shot that just bounces off several people, just so I can keep them like busy while I deal with like this one guy.
Yeah, I do think the shotgun actually is pretty useful, but there's only 3 projectile weapons in this game, or I guess I should just say guns because they're guns. There's really only 3 guns in this game, which is a bit of a bummer from the last games. Like I think DmC 3 has like 5 or 6, and they're all like super crazy. Like they get very, very different.
God, I love that.
That's a cool way to block your progress, I think.
I really love how the stage transforms. I really do every single time.
Yeah. So definitely, the DmC games have always had a bit of they've always had kind of an issue balancing the gun part. In DmC 1, it makes a lot of sense because you need them to like close distances. DmC 2 had the problem where guns were actually way too powerful, so like you could not really do any combos at all and just sort of like back up on people and shoot them for pretty much the entire game. DmC is a really bad game. Don't play it.
How bad is it? Because I haven't really played much of the DmC series, but like everybody keeps like
it's really
saying it's terrible. And
on GameFAQs, they used to call it. I think they used to call it Bob's Adventure. because in that game, like Dante just like he has no dialogue. He like barely talks in it, which is very not Dante-y. That game really does not have a lot of the style or like flair of the better games in the series. Doesn't really have the swagger, and mostly is like a lot of really pretty animations and not much else. It's also that game is like super easy, even easier than this game is, and just like generally incredibly boring and uninteresting.
Danny, you kill. I love that earlier when Dante, you were just running away from that creature for like 2 or 3 seconds, and he just turned around and wail on it.
No.
Dante, come on, man.
Man, I had to get the secrets. I had to get those orbs. You gotta get them orbs, y'all.
Oh, so are the orbs now? Do the orbs represent experience? I can't remember if that's what they are.
The orbs let you buy items.
Okay. So they're currency.
Which is not actually that important in this game because, again, the scoring system is pretty lenient, and it also has like a pretty good checkpoint system. So like you don't actually need items as much as you do in other games. Mostly what I do is I save up all of my orbs to get the vital stars, which are super important because they just like increase your life permanently, which comes in a lot of handy.
This is
So
pretty
here we have
gnarly.
The main pump, which we will learn more about probably in the next part of this game. Yeah, and that's how Virility is. It's the stomach bile of a bunch of monsters.
So this is what it actually is. Like it's not like a representation or like the Matrix version of it. Like this is actually like what Dante's
that's the
seeing.
idea,
like,
right? That's why it's cutting to them actually drinking the soda, which is they're just drinking gross monster guts.
Ooh.
That's the source we're interested in.
I'm guessing our succubus is on the other end of that.
That's right. This way.
Oh, I never noticed the
must look-
sound on that sound effect on. Is that cat?
Sorry, you're
Cat's-
saying what?
Oh, I've never noticed that
Yes.
sound effect on Cat's voice. Like that's sort of that's nice attention to detail.
Yeah, when you're in limbo.
Right.
Yeah. So this is a really annoying fight. You have to deal with like all the soda on the ground, which is acidic. So you just have to sort of, remove yourself from it. But it is a really nice sort of reinforcement of trying to keep people in the air in this game, which is useful for a couple of reasons. One is that it, obviously lets you keep comboing them. But two is that it keeps you away from the ground, which is where all the other enemies are.
It also just keeps it from getting boring.
Yeah, I mean, it helps, right? It's like an easy way to...
Yeah, I mean, it's much like you said, like, when you don't have, like, a red enemy to deal with, you just wail on everybody.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, you still have to, like, crowd control and stuff, but it becomes pretty easy, especially later on in the game when you've already been playing it for a while. It's like, if you get just a bunch of regular enemies, it's nothing. It's super. But here you can see me still getting used to having those red enemies to deal with.
That chainsaw guy isn't a one-hit kill, is it?
Oh, no. That chainsaw guy takes quite a few hits. And he can also go into his own Devil Trigger. Devil Trigger is the one thing we don't have in this game yet, but we will get that very sure. Or not very sure.
Right, sorry, I meant more like if he lands a hit on Dante, it's not a one-hit kill.
No. Dante will take,
it does
Dante
do, like,
will take a
nice
chainsaw to the face like a champ.
Right. Yeah, because I played Resident Evil 4 with Damien on the other channel, the Chronicle Bros, and there's a chainsaw guy, and like if he comes close to Leon, that's pretty much it. So whenever I see a chainsaw in a video game now, I instinctively flinch.
Yeah, so this is fighting two of these charge guys is pretty tough. It's funny because like now, if I went back and did this fight, like I can look at it and be like, oh yeah, this is super easy. But it is hard with the weapons you have now. The next hell weapon, or the next demon weapon that we get, actually makes these guys a heck of a lot easier.
It kind of negates the entire reason for you even having the axe, doesn't it?
No, not entirely. There are still definitely situations where the axe is good. For one, the axe is really powerful. For two, the other weapon also is sort of try to because hey, it's Devil May Cry. I kind of wish I could go back and re-record this entire playthrough. Just because I'm like so much better at this game now.
Dan, what were you saying just now? Because like I think the call might have dropped what you just said.
I don't know. Probably nothing important.
Okay.
Well,
It's probably fine.
About the axe and stuff.
Yeah. The axe is good, is my final point.
Oh, that was the whole level. It actually went by pretty quickly.
Yeah, I mean, all the levels in this game are about 15, 20 minutes, other than, I think there's a level later on, which is about a half an hour, and there are other levels that are just bosses, and those are pretty quick for the most part. So, yeah, I mean, it's a relatively short game.
You got a D and still got an A rank.